Good evening, students. This is the second session of the chapter cell, the structure and functions. Already one lecture were posted regarding this chapter, and this is the second lecture and this is the last lecture of this chapter. So we will study the remaining topics from this chapter. So today's first topic is structure of cell. How cell actually looks like. What is its structure? So the first is your structure of cell. Structure of cell. Now cell comprises of three main parts. Any cell, whether it is plant cell or whether it is animal cell, a cell basically comprises of three main parts or three essential parts. Number one is your cell membrane. Number one is your cell membrane, or sometimes it is also called plasma membrane. Sometimes it is also called plasma membrane. Now cell membrane or plasma membrane is the outer covering layer of a cell, that is outermost layer or outer covering layer of a cell. This is the cell membrane or plasma membrane. So it is the outermost layer of a cell. Clear? Number two is the cytoplasm. And number three is the nucleus. So this is the three main parts of a cell. Number one is your cell membrane or plasma membrane, which is the outermost layer of a cell. Second one is the cytoplasm, and number three is your nucleus. Clear? Now there are two types of cell. One is the animal cell and one is the plant cell. So how animal cell looks like? Animal cell looks like this. This is the nucleus part. Very small granules present here and there. These are actually your cytoplasm. So almost looks like this. This is your animal cell. An animal cell almost looks like this. Clear? This is our animal cell. This is the animal cell. Now how plant cell looks like? Plant cell looks like this. This is actually your plant cell. This is the plant cell. Plant cell almost looks like this. Clear? This is your plant cell. Now this is the outer covering layer. This is actually your cell membrane. This is your cell membrane. That is the outer covering layer. This is the cell membrane. Clear? This is the cell membrane. In case of plant cell, this is the animal cell. So in animal cell, this is the cell membrane, and in case of plant cell, this is the cell membrane. That is the inner part. This is the cell membrane. Now cell wall. What is the cell wall? This is actually the cell wall. Now cell wall is only present in a plant cell. Cell wall is only present in plant cell. In animal cell, cell wall is absent. Cell wall is only present in the plant cell. Clear? So cell membrane, cell wall. Next one is our plastid. Next one is our plastid. Next one is our plastid. So plastid is also found only in plant cell. Plastid is only found in plant cell. In animal cell, plastid is absent. In animal cell, plastid is absent. Plastid is only found in plant cell. So this is our plastid. This is the plastid. Clear? Plastid is only found in plant cell, and cell wall, this is also found in plant cell. Clear? Next one is your centrosome. Next one is our centrosome. So centrosome is, it is found in plant cell as well as in animal cell. Centrosome, it is found in plant cell as well as in animal cell. So in case of plant cell, centrosome is this. This is the centrosome. In case of plant cell, this is the centrosome. Clear? And in case of animal cell, this is the centrosome. This is actually the centrosome. Clear? Next, cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is the fluid part. Cytoplasm is actually the fluid part present in both the cell. Cytoplasm is actually the fluid part present in both the cell. So this is actually a cytoplasm. This fluid is actually the cytoplasm. Next, mitochondria. Next, mitochondria. What is mitochondria? Mitochondria is actually this part. This part in your plant cell, and if we so in animal cell, this will be the mitochondria. This will be your mitochondria in your animal cell. Next is your vacuole. Vacuole, the large part in plant cell, that is this part in plant cell, is actually your vacuole. This is your vacuole in case of plant cell, and in case of animal cell, the vacuole is small portions. In case of animal cell, vacuole is a small portion. That means this is your vacuole part. Clear? So these two diagrams, that is plant cell and animal cell, this is very important. Diagram you must practice these two diagrams, that is animal cell and plant cell. Clear? Next. Now we will study the three parts, that is cytoplasm, nucleus, and the first part, that is cell membrane. So first part of the structure of cell, that is our cell membrane. Now cell membrane is also called plasma membrane. Cell membrane is also called plasma membrane. Now cell membrane, actually the outer covering layer or the outermost layer. It is the outer covering layer or outermost layer. That means each cell is surrounded by a cell membrane. Each cell is surrounded by a cell membrane or plasma membrane. So we will write each cell is surrounded by it. It means cell membrane or plasma membrane. So each cell is surrounded by it. It is very thin, very delicate and flexible. It is very thin. This is very thin, delicate as well as flexible. It is very thin, delicate and as well as flexible. It is actually, what is cell membrane? It is the only living structure present in both animal and plant cells. Very important. It is only the living structure, that is cell membrane or cell membrane or plasma membrane is actually the only living structure present in both plant and animal cells. So we will say it is the only living structure or only living substance. Only living substance or only living structure present in both animal cells and plant cells. Only living substance present in both animal cells and plant cells. Clear? Now this cell membrane, that is the outer covering layer or outermost layer, the cell membrane has fine pores in it. It contains very tiny fine pores through which it allows certain substances to pass through it. Clear? This cell membrane has very tiny pores. Tiny pores means like this. These tiny pores. This cell membrane has very tiny pores, tiny or fine pores, which allow certain substances to pass through it. Certain substances means all substances cannot pass through it. Certain substances, the substances which are harmful for the cell, those substances cannot pass through the cell membrane. Only those substances which are not harmful for the cell will pass through these substances. That means only certain substances can be passed from cell membrane. That means can pass through these pores. That's why cell membrane sometimes called selectively permeable membrane. Sometimes cell membrane, that's why it is called sometimes selectively permeable. Selectively permeable. Why selectively? Because it allows certain substances to pass through it. Cell membrane has tiny pores or fine pores within the cell membrane, and these pores allow certain substances to pass through the cell membrane. Those substances which are harmful, it will not allow to pass. Only those substances will pass that is not harmful to the cell. That means it is very selective. The cell membrane is very selective to substances. That's why it is called selectively permeable membrane. Clear? Next, cell wall. Next come to cell wall. Now, what is cell wall? Cell wall is also the outermost layer. But the difference is that cell wall, it is also the outermost layer, but the difference is that cell wall only present in plant cell. Cell wall only present in plant cell. It is not present in animal cell. Cell wall only present in plant cell. Only present in plant cell. Cell wall only present in plant cell. It is not present in the animal cell. Clear? And it actually, what is the position of cell wall? The position of cell wall is, it actually lies outside the cell membrane. It actually lies outside the cell membrane. That means it is the outermost layer. It is the outermost layer. In plant cell, cell wall is actually the outermost layer, followed by cell membrane. Clear? And in case of animal cell, only cell membrane is present, because in animal cell there is no cell wall. Clear? So what is cell wall? This position is, it is present or it lies outside the cell membrane. Lies outside the cell membrane. Lies outside the cell membrane. Cell wall present or cell wall lies outside the cell membrane. Clear? Next, what is cell wall is made up of? Cell wall is actually made up of cellulose. It is made up of, next point, it is made up of cellulose. Cell wall is made up of actually cellulose. Next, what is the function of cell wall? Its function is to provide shape of the cell. Its function is to provide shape and rigidity to the cell. So its function is to provide shape and rigidity to the plant cell. Its function is to provide shape and rigidity to the plant cell. Now this cell wall has some exactly not the same function as cell membrane, but somewhat similar. The cell wall has somewhat similar function to the cell membrane. The cell membrane was actually the selectively permeable membrane. Cell membrane was selectively permeable membrane. That means it will not allow all the substances. It will only allow those substances that is not harmful for the cell. But in case of cell wall, it will allow all the substances to pass through it. In case of cell wall, it will allow all the substances to pass through it, whether it is harmful or not harmful. It will not select those substances. It will allow all the substances to pass through it. That means any substances can pass through the cell with the cell wall. That's why cell wall is called freely permeable membrane. That's why cell wall is called freely permeable membrane. It is called freely permeable. It is called freely permeable, whereas cell membrane is your selectively permeable, because cell membrane select those substances, and in case of cell wall it will not select. It will pass all the substances to pass through it. Clear? So this is actually our cell wall. Next number two element was your cytoplasm. Number 2 was your cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is actually a liquid. Cytoplasm is actually a liquid present in the cell. The liquid is a semi-liquid and colorless. The type of liquid is semi-liquid and it has no color. That is, it is a colorless. It is colorless as well as translucent. Clear? So cytoplasm is actually semi-liquid, colorless, translucent substance found in the cell, or more specifically found between the nucleus and cell membrane. 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 Clear? Now this is the semi-liquid or colorless liquid or translucent liquid found between the nucleus and cell membrane. This is actually the cytoplasm. Number 3, very important, nucleus. Number 3 is the nucleus. Number 3 is the nucleus. It is the most important part present in the cell. It is the most important part present in the cell. It is actually the small spherical mass. What is nucleus? Nucleus is actually the small spherical mass present in the center of the cytoplasm. Small spherical mass. Small spherical mass mostly located in the center of the cytoplasm, and it is the most important part of the cell. Most important part in the cell, between cytoplasm, cell membrane, cell wall, nucleus. Nucleus is actually the most important part among these. Clear? So it is a small spherical mass. Small spherical mass mostly located towards the center of the cytoplasm. Towards the center of the cytoplasm. So its position is, it is a small spherical mass first of all, and it is located towards the center of the cytoplasm, and it is the most important part of the cell. Now the nucleus has a outermost layer. Like cell, there was a outermost layer. The layer is your cell membrane and cell wall. Its function is to protect the cell from the external damage. What is the function of cell membrane and cell wall? Its function is to protect the cell from the external damage. Likewise, nucleus also has its outer covering layer, like cell wall and cell membrane. Likewise, nucleus also has its outer covering layer, like cell wall and cell membrane. And the outer covering layer in nucleus is known as nuclear membrane. The outer covering layer in case of nucleus is known as nuclear membrane. It is the cover of the nucleus. It is the outer covering layer of the nucleus. Its function is to protect the nucleus. Its function is to protect the nucleus. So the outer covering layer is the nuclear membrane. What is nuclear membrane? It is the outer covering layer of the nucleus. Its function is to protect the nucleus from external damages. So this is your nuclear membrane. It is actually actually very porous part. This nuclear membrane is actually a very delicate and very porous part which encloses a relatively dense nucleoplasm. This nuclear membrane is actually a delicate and porous part, and the nuclear membrane consists of nucleoplasm. Like a cell consists of cytoplasm. Cytoplasm was your semi-liquid, colorless, translucent substances. That the same wise, nucleus also has nucleoplasm, which is the same actually the cytoplasm. So nuclear membrane is a delicate, very porous part, and it comprises a relatively dense liquid. The nuclear membrane consists of a dense liquid, which is known as our nucleoplasm. Which is known as nucleoplasm. Nucleoplasm. It is a dense liquid. It is a dense liquid present in the nucleus. It is a dense liquid present in the nucleus. So what is nuclear membrane? The outer covering layer of the nucleus is the nuclear membrane. Its function is to protect the nucleus, and in the nuclear membrane there is a nucleoplasm, which is the dense part or dense liquid part of the nucleus, and the nuclear membrane is the delicate, very porous part of nucleus. Clear? Now inside this nucleoplasm, a small dark body is present. Inside the nucleoplasm, a very small dark body is present, which is called nucleolus. Inside the nucleoplasm, a very small dark body is present, which is known as nucleolus. Clear? So inside the nucleoplasm there is a small dark body present. The small dark body is actually our nucleolus. Now this nucleoplasm beside nucleolus, this nucleoplasm also contains chromosomes. This nucleoplasm also contains chromosomes. And these chromosomes are actually called genes. Every living organism have genes. Every living organism, be it plants, be it animals, it contains genes. So beside nucleoplasm also have chromosomes, and these chromosomes are actually called the genes. These genes are responsible for transmuting characteristics from parents to offspring. These genes are actually responsible for transferring or transmitting characteristics, that is character, from parents to the offsprings. Clear? Now remember one thing, that the question will be asked like this: write the number of chromosomes present in human. Write the number of chromosomes present in human body. Your answer will be 46. 46 number of chromosomes. 46 number of chromosomes. Human body actually have 46 number of chromosomes, or you can write 23 pair of chromosomes. 23 pair of chromosomes. 46 number of chromosomes you can write, or you can write 23 pair of chromosomes. If you write pair, then you need to write 23, and if you write number of chromosomes, then you will write 46. Both are same. Clear? So just remember this data very carefully. Next topic is cell organelle. What are cell organelles? What are actually our cell organelles? Cell organelles. What are cell organelles? Now, the cytoplasm contains many tiny substances, very small tiny substances. The cytoplasm, that was your semi-colorless liquid, translucent liquid. Now in this cytoplasm there are many small tiny particles which are not even seen by microscope. To see those tiny particles, very high powered microscope is required. These tiny particles are called cell organelles. I am repeating again, listen carefully. The cytoplasm, that was the semi-colorless liquid, translucent liquid present in the cell. this cytoplasm contains very tiny small particles which were not even seen by microscope. To see those tiny particles, high powered microscope is required. Those tiny particles are actually your cell organelles. Clear? So what are cell organelles? Cell organelles are the tiny substances, very small substances present in the cytoplasm, which are not even detected by microscope. To detect those substances, very high powered microscope is required. Now the questions will be asked, write some cell organelles. Questions will be asked like this, write some cell organelles present in the cytoplasm. So there are various cell organelles. Number one is your endoplasmic reticulum. Number one cell organelle, endoplasmic reticulum, or short form ER. This is the number one cell organelle. Number two cell organelle, Golgi body. Golgi bodies. Second cell organelle. Third cell organelle is your ribosomes. Number four cell organelle will be your mitochondria. Number five cell organelle would be your lysosomes. Number six cell organelle would be your plastids. And lastly, number seven organelle will be your centrosomes. So these are the cell organelles, these seven cell organelles present in the cytoplasm. These seven organelles are very small. That's why it is not even detected by a microscope. High powered microscope or high magnification microscope will require to see these or to detect these substances. These are your cell organelles. Clear? Now we will discuss only plastid, because other cell organelles are not in your syllabus. We will only discuss plastids and vacuoles. Clear? Other cell organelles are not in your syllabus. So we will discuss only about the cell organelle, that is the plastid, because this is very important. This plastid cell organelle is very important. Now before starting plastid, we should know that plastid, this cell organelle, the plastid cell organelle, it is only found in plant cell. This plastid, this cell organelle is only found in plant cell. It is not found in animal cell. Clear? So we will write in bracket, only found in plant cell. This cell organelle, that is plastid, it is only found in plant cell. It is absent in animal cells. Now there are three types of plastids. One is the chloroplast, number two is the chromoplast, and number three is your leucoplast. Clear? So number one is your chloroplast. Chloroplast. Now the chloroplast has a green pigment. Chloroplast contain a green pigment. The name of the green pigment is chlorophyll. You have heard the name. Chlorophyll, you have heard the name. What is chlorophyll? The chlorophyll is actually the green pigment, and the green pigment chlorophyll is present in the chloroplast. That's why the color of chloroplast is green. So it is sometimes referred as green plastids. It is sometimes referred as green plastids because of the presence of green pigment chlorophyll. Because of the presence of green colored pigment called chlorophyll. This green colored pigment chlorophyll present actually in the plastid. That's why chloroplast is sometimes called as green plastids. What is its function? The function of chloroplast is to trap solar energy. For photosynthesis. Because we know to occur photosynthesis, chlorophyll is required. And the chlorophyll comes from chloroplast. That's why the function of chloroplast is to trap solar energy to function photosynthesis. So its function is, the function of chloroplast is to trap solar energy for photosynthesis. This is its function, to trap solar energy for photosynthesis. Number two is your chromoplast. Number 2 is a chromoplast. Now chromoplast contains yellow pigment and red pigment. Like chloroplast contains green pigment, chlorophyll, the chromoplast contains two pigment. One is the yellow pigment and another one is the red pigment. So it contains yellow and red pigment. Clear? And its function is to impart colors. That means the colorful flowers or colorful fruits we have seen in many trees or plants is due to the presence of chromoplast, because its main function is to impart colors. Its main function is to impart colors to fruits and as well as to flowers. So its main function is to impart colors to fruits and flowers. That's why insects are very attracted. Insects are very attracted because insects are very attracted towards colors. So chromoplast, its main function is to impart colors to fruits and flowers so that insects are attracted and pollination occurs. What is the pollination? Pollination means to create more than one flower, from one flower to many flowers. That's so that insects are very attracted towards chromoplast. Its main function is to impart colors to fruits and flowers so that insects are attracted. So its main function is to impart colors to fruit and flower so that insects are attracted. Clear? And lastly, last one is your leucoplast. Last one is your leucoplast. It is actually colorless. No pigment is present in leucoplast. No pigment is present in leucoplast. That's why leucoplast is actually colorless. Its function is to store starch, fat and protein. It will store food items like starch, food and protein. So its function is to store starch, fat and protein. Its function is to store starch, fat and protein. Next, so plastids are complete. These three plastids actually found. One is your chloroplast, one is your chromoplast and lastly is your leucoplast. Next we will study. So next we will study vacuoles. What are vacuoles? This is not a cell organelle. Only one cell organelle we will study, that is our plastid. Next is our vacuole. So vacuole is present both in plant cell and both in animal cell. It is present both in plant cell and animal cell, but there is a little difference. When it is present in plant cell, it is present in fewer numbers. That means not very much. It is present in fewer number. It is present in fewer number. But it is present in fewer number, but they are quite large in size. In case of plant cell, vacuoles are not so much. That is, very fewer numbers of vacuoles are present, but they are of quite large size. So we will write very fewer number, but quite large in size. But quite large in size. Whereas in case of animal cell, it is present in large number. It is present in large number, but size is smaller than plant cell. Animal cell, the vacuoles are present in larger number, but size is very small compared to plant cell. So it is present in larger number. It is present in larger number, but smaller in size. Clear? So this is about your vacuole. Now what is actually vacuole? Vacuole is actually our non-living substances present in the cytoplasm. It is actually the non-living substances or non-living inclusion present in the cytoplasm. Clear? And this vacuole is actually it is like a porous part. This vacuole is actually the hollow part or porous part present in the cell, and it is a non-living substance. This is not a living substance, this is the non-living substance. This vacuole is actually our non-living substance, and it is a porous part present in the cytoplasm, and it is actually non-living substance. Clear? These vacuoles are filled with water and various substances, and it is called as cell sap. These vacuoles is filled with water. This vacuole is filled with water and other substances. This vacuole is filled with water and other substances, which are called cell sap. Which are called cell sap. Clear? So vacuoles, we will say in short, the vacuoles contain cell sap. Cell sap is actually the water and other substances. Other substances means minerals. Clear? So this is all about vacuoles. Next, the last part, that is the cell division. Last part is your cell division. Now, what is cell division? What is cell division and why cell division occurs? Now, cell division occurs mainly to produce new cells, because every cell in our body has a definite lifespan. Human body consists of millions of cells. Human body consists of millions of cells, and every cell has a definite lifespan. Clear? After the lifespan, the cell will die. So there is a need of new cells. Every cell has a definite lifespan. After the lifespan, the cell will die. So we need new cells, and there the cell division concept comes. So the main concept of cell division is to produce new cells, because the cells will die after their lifespan, and we need new cells for them. In place of them, we need new cells. So there comes cell division. So its main function is, its main motto is to produce new cells. Clear? That's why cell divides. Its main motto is to produce new cells, because cells will die after the lifespan, and we need new cells in place of those cells. Then cell division comes. Its main function is to produce new cells. That means it is a process to produce new cells. It is a process to produce new cells. This is the number one function of cell division. Number two function is to repair the damaged cells. To repair the damaged cells. Clear? So its second function is to repair or the damaged cells. Clear? Number three function is the growth of the cells. Number three function is growth of the cell. It functions in such a way that cells can grow better day by day. Clear? So third function is the growth of the cell. And number 4, but not the least, its function is to reproduction. That is to produce. Main function is to produce reproduction. That is to produce new cells from the pre-existing cells. To produce new cells from the pre-existing cells. Clear? So these are the 4 functions of cell division, and it is necessary because all the living organisms, including humans, including plants, have cells, and those cells have a definite lifespan. After the lifespan will over, the cells will die. So we need new cells. That's why cell division comes. Its main motto is to produce new cells, to repair the damaged cells, to grow the cells, and to reproduction. Clear? Next, so this is the end of the chapter. The chapter is complete. Next, a question in your exercise. The very important question. The question will comes like this: that differentiate between plant cell and animal cell. This question is already given in the exercise. This is a very important question. The question is, write differences between plant cell and animal cells. Write differences between plant cells and animal cells. So we will just split the characteristics or split the data between these two. Number 1, in plant cell it is usually very large. In plant cell it is actually very large. So you will write size is usually larger than animal cell, but when it comes to animal cell, its size usually smaller. So this is the number one difference. Size is usually smaller. Clear? Number two difference is that it has a definite cell wall. Plant cell has a definite cell wall. It has a definite cell wall, and in case of animal cell, no cell wall is present. No cell wall is present. Cell wall is actually absent in animal cells. Number three difference would be vacuoles are very prominent but fewer in number. Plant cell contains vacuoles, animal cell contains vacuoles, but the difference is that vacuoles are very fewer in number and very prominent. So we will write vacuoles are prominent. Vacuoles are prominent and they are fewer in number. They are fewer in number. But in case of animal cells, vacuoles are small. Vacuoles are small. That means it is not very prominent like plant cells. So we will write vacuoles are small and it is present in numerous. That means many vacuoles are present in animal cells, whereas in case of plant cells they are fewer in number. So in case of animal cells, vacuoles are small, they are numerous and concerned with excretion and secretion. Clear? Last difference, that is number fourth difference, is that plant cell contain plastids. Plant cells contain plastids. That is, the plastid is a cell organelle that is present in plant cells, but in animal cell, plastid is absent. That is, it do not contain plastid. It do not contain plastids. So these are the differences between plant cell and animal cell. These are very much important. So the chapter is complete. That's all for today. The cell chapter, it comprises of 2 lectures. This is the last lecture and already 1 lecture were posted. So thank you.